Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this wonderful afternoon on the 22nd of April here at FACT. We would like to present you this afternoon two webcasts. The first one is called Adventure, starting in just a couple of seconds, and the second one is called Why Care About HIAB. All of them have been produced by community groups from the Northwest, from Merseyside area. We've been working with groups over the last 6 months, really, developing shows, and would like to present them back to you. All of this has been part of the research and development of Common Channel. Common Channel is a community webcasting facility, and we are hoping to bring internet technology, internet television technology to community groups, help them understand and use it, really, and that's what you see now. So these are a couple of examples. So the first show is going to be Adventure, and I'm going to hand you over to Jenny, who's sitting here next to me, and she's going to do an introduction of the show. She's going to lead you through the show, so thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Jenny, and welcome to our show, Adventure. This is our panel. We have Barbara, Joe, Richie, and Vibke. Vibke, could you tell us a little bit about FACT?
Yeah, FACT, the Foundation for Art and Creative Technology, is an arts organisation here in Liverpool. We're working there some 16 years now, but just about over a year we have our centre open, the FACT Centre, where we are here in the moment. We run many different programs and exhibitions, but one of the work we do is collaborations with community groups, and part of the collaboration program is the project that we are doing here in the moment, Common Channel.
Okay, Barbara, could you tell us a little bit about the Dark Horse Venture?
Well, primarily it's an award scheme for older people over 50, and it was originally thought of by a lady called Mary Thomas, a retired school teacher, and she thought there are a lot of older people out there who are bored, lonely, and she thought she would come up with a scheme whereby they could aim for their own personal objective. And she thought of a scheme whereby we have 4 categories. One is giving and sharing, one is learning and doing, one is exploring and exercising, and the other one is generations working together. Now they can choose to do anything in any of those 4 categories, and then when they have done it for about 12 months, they have to have a mentor to say that they have actually achieved their own personal goal. Then they are awarded a certificate. It's a bit like the Duke of Edinburgh's awards scheme. And then when they have 3 certificates, they can aim for the gold. But here in Liverpool and Manchester, we also run an arts group now. It's a project called Encourage, and we are trying to encourage older people to become more involved with the arts. And about every 3 months, I put together a programme, and our members can choose which events they would like to go to. It could be we'll have a day with English National Ballet, we'll do a workshop, or we work with FACT. Joe and Richie, they are both venturers, and they take part on the Encourage programme, and I'm always roping them in for something. Monday of this week, we were working with the museum here in Liverpool on a project called Flag It Up, and we are designing our own flag. Several organisations are doing it in Liverpool, and the flags are going to be shown in the city centre throughout the summer because it's the Year of Faith for the Capital of Culture 2008. And I think we all had a good time on Monday afternoon.
Yes.
We've designed our own flag. In fact, we did so well, they decided we could have 2 flags.
Yeah.
So we do lots of different projects with most of the big organisations connected to the arts in Liverpool.
Right. Well, I'm from St Julie's Sixth Form, and I'm here with 3 other girls. We're all studying media and sociology. And we worked with Dark Horse Venture in FACT because we wanted to see with different age groups how they felt about certain subjects. We've got food, memories, 24 hours a day, and music, and we wanted to see different generations and what was their favourite food and how they worked in the day and stuff, and see how the younger generation did as well. So we're going to watch a video now about food.
Because there were no sweets.
You're a little bit behind what's getting streamed.
To have things like sugar sandwiches, and we'd take them out and just have a bottle of water or something and go out for a picnic. Or what's that stuff? Condensed milk.
My uncle used to eat sugar sandwiches. He's got
Did
bad
he?
teeth now.
Dripping toast, oh, that was a great favourite, yes. It's ever so tasty when you get it from the... When you've cooked, say, a piece of beef, and the fat forms on the top when you strain it off, and that with the juice, the meat juices underneath on toast, is delicious. I have to say I wouldn't eat it now because, you know, we're all very conscious of fat now, but I would still enjoy it.
I like having my tea and my toast and dipping my tea and toast in my tea.
Oh yeah, I've got about my laughing cow. I like
Yes. Yes.
I put I love loads of it on a hill of cheese. So I put loads of that on and then just like munch, put loads of crisps on and just munch.
That with the juice, the meat juices underneath on toast. Delicious. I must admit, I like my roast dinners.
I like roasting as my nan's best.
Yes. With roast potatoes and roast parsnips.
Mash.
Yeah, she does. It's
Good. And sour cream butties as well.
Say it again.
Sour cream butties. They're nice.
These big bombs they do in Zerry, and they've got like I have lettuce, cucumber and no tomato and no onion.
They're massive.
And they've got loads of flour on the top so you like all over your face.
What do you call them? What do you call them? Bombs?
Just turkey bombs, yeah.
Because there are all those different regional things, like Baps and Cops and...
Yeah.
And they're all
Bombs.
slightly different.
She had an argument with someone because they
Yes.
never heard of a bomb before,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
they were like really convinced that a bomb was made. I like different breads and gravy.
Right, here we are, we're back. This was our film. Because we have to show, obviously, you in the studio and online what we're doing, this is where we have to make sure we get all the video types lined up. Pretty sure the next one is going to be a bit more synchronized. But yeah, that has been our video. And what you saw at the end were lots of questions, and I'm sure we all filled in our questionnaires, and probably have some responses to what we've just seen. So, take it away.
Okay, so has anybody got a favourite food?
Well,
I like all food.
me too. Yeah. I don't really have a favourite,
No.
but I like shredded wheat.
Well, that's boring, isn't it? Shredded wheat.
Is there
Yeah.
anything that you have when you like a comfort food? You know, if you feel it. Some people turn to
Chocolate.
food. Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah.
chocolate.
Yorkshire pudding with butter and syrup on.
What?
It's lovely. Warm. And sugar. It's lovely, that.
So how did you mix that little combination up then?
Well, it's just good. You want to try it.
I might
Yeah,
do.
it's better than having it with roast beef.
Great.
I like it better that way. And cheese and marmalade on sandwich. Cheese and marmalade sandwich together. That's good.
That's a bit of a strange mix.
Yeah.
So do you have like snacks during the day, or do you just
Not
eat
very
meals?
often, no.
No. Try not to.
With my figure, I can't afford it.
Do you eat healthy, or do you tend to go for the fatty foods better?
We'd like to eat healthy, but I think what people call healthy to them is not so much healthy to you.
No.
I've found over different things, diets are not diets. I don't think are any good.
No.
It's what you put in. You need to burn off with exercise and things like that. That will keep you slim and fit.
So have you ever tried any diets? Have you ever tried any diets?
No,
Never.
I haven't. No,
Never.
anyway.
No, not me.
I think everything in moderation is fine.
I think there's a problem with the word diet as well, isn't there? Because really a diet is what you eat regularly. A diet is not something that you just do for 2 weeks, but a diet is actually what the overall picture of what it is that you're eating. And diet has been getting this term of you do this for 2 weeks and you're back into your bikini for the summer kind of thing. And there are women's magazines who just managed to get out a new diet. Just eat pineapple, just eat carrots, just eat potatoes, just eat whatever. And if you do exclusively what you say, you're going to be fine and fit for the next season, which is just really bonkers bizarre. Or, which I think have been a huge hype, the Atkins diet. Anyone in the audience tried it? Anyone ever tried anything like that? Oh. Oh, sorry, let me come with the handheld microphone so we can actually hear you. And we have a camera to follow us as well. Tell us a bit more. How was your experience with that?
Well, I only did it for about 5 days because I hadn't got the willpower to go any further. But being a stone overweight, I consider anyway, it's a stone more than I should have. But I agree that it's simply eating sensibly, and not overeating, not overindulging. And don't eat when you're not hungry. So I try to stick to that. But I'm afraid I haven't got the willpower to follow any diet at all, really, for long.
I think there's also so many really nice things to indulge in. We just had Easter. I got an email from a friend who claimed that she ate her own body weight in chocolate. Anyone else had a major chocolate rush over the last couple of weeks? Oh, yeah, Roy, coming across. Let me come over. How has it been for you? How is it for men? How is the picture of men and dieting today? Well, what are your views on this? Are men under the same pressure as women to look slim, trim, and fit in swimming costumes, or what's the story here?
I think more so than it used to be, but it doesn't bother me. But I just enjoy chocolate, and I eat chocolate when I need to eat it, and I just love it, you know. Oh, absolutely. Cream eggs every morning. And I don't buy sort of 6 packs, I buy 40 packs of cream eggs. Wow. And, you know, I eat them, I go through them. I go through about 40 a week of cream eggs. That's you know, sort of when I get this rush of eating cream eggs, and then that's it. And then I don't eat chocolate for a couple of weeks and then back again, you know. But yeah, and diet doesn't worry me because, like, it's just you either keep fit or you don't, you know. And if I find that I'm getting into a state where I'm just doing nothing and I'm sitting around all day and then eating, then it starts to make me feel bad. And then I want to get up and do something, which I tend to do. But it is being disciplined. But I do think that there's a lot of pressure on men these days to keep slim and keep thin, you know. More so than women, I would suggest. Yeah, you know, because I do certainly. I mean, a lot of our residents are very keen to keep fit. You know, the younger lads are very keen to keep trim and fit, and you know, muscly as well. And whereas the women don't tend to do that. You know, they tend to think how they look and appearance. They think more about that than the weight issue. But that's why.
Ah, that is an interesting point. Jenny, maybe you can tell us a bit about it. You're from an all-girls school. St. Julie's is an all-girls school. You guys in sixth formers, so you're all 17, 18, 19 years of age?
Just, yeah, 17, 18 in sixth form.
17, 18. How how is it? What do people eat for their lunch breaks? Do you see people, you know, how many people in your class are on a diet or have been on a diet at the age of 17? Are you looking after what you eat? Hang on, no, you had a pack of crisps this morning.
To be honest, I think, like you said, there's a lot of pressure on especially girls in like my age and that in school, because they think they've got to have the perfect figure, and they think that they've got like I know I compare myself to other girls in the year, and I think, well, you know, there's nothing wrong with you, but they're on diets, and there's a lot of people on diets. But the food, I think as well, I was very conscious about when you got into sixth form, we could go out of school to eat and get snacks and stuff. So people think that they're putting on weight in school, so they go on a lot more diets in the sixth form, and you are like, you are under pressure, because you think, you're not under pressure, but I think as well, I think we put ourselves under pressure because you think that you've got to look a certain way, and and you do, and when you're reading magazines and stuff, and it sounds obvious, but you see someone who's got a perfect figure, you think you've got to look like them, that's the right way to be, and I do hear a lot of people who bothers about their weight.
I think one big part that we found out when we talked to Ada and Grace from the Dark Horse Venture, and I'm sure you probably can reflect this as well, is that it seems that there's a lot more junk food around than there was when you were in 17, 18 years old, and it seems that junk food seems to be what makes us easier unfit. If people had hunger for anything, they probably would eat something healthy like an apple. These days, people just go out and eat a burger, and quite clearly the burger has a different effect.
All processed food,
yeah, exactly.
Full of chemicals, additives, preservatives. But I think a lot of young people are aware of what's in the food now, because my daughter's 22, and she's at uni, and she rings me up and she says, oh, guess what I bought today, Mum, and it's got E22 and it's got blah, blah, blah. So she's taken on board all the things I have told her when she has been shopping with me. Yeah. And all of her friends are the same as well. They are all aware of what they are eating now. And I think now they actually do, when they go out and shop for themselves, they do turn the box over, whatever they're buying, and have a look on the back to see what's in it. And if they don't like it, they put it back. They buy an awful lot of organic food now.
I think shopping is a really good keyword in this context as well. There's a farmers market in Liverpool every first and third Saturday of the month. It's down at Shivas Park, just behind the old police station. And I try to make a point of, whenever I have some money left over, to go and buy anything there. I certainly try to buy all the meat I'm eating there, because I do like eating meat. But what you get at supermarkets these days is just... It's just awful. And there was this really horrible program a month ago about chicken. Oh yes, chicken fat. It was awful. It was really. That's it. I'm not buying any chicken breast in Tesco's anymore. No, thank you. It really is awful. The problem that I have is that, ironically, the local produce that comes from the area is so much more expensive than what the supermarket can offer, that I just can't afford to buy meat more often than once a month, because it's just too much. But I know that if I speak to my grandmother, she tells me that when she was young, you would just buy your produce from the farmers in the area. You would literally just walk there, look at the chicken, say this one please, and this would be it. And it would not be so much more expensive, just because it has been looked after properly and fed properly. So why do our organic apples come from New Zealand, and why are they not coming from Lancashire? Or why can someone, and why are they so more expensive coming from Lancashire than coming from New Zealand, which is complete obscure? Anyone, any ideas, any views on that?
Well, I think nowadays probably, like Jenny says, 17, 18 years old, I think the first convenience foods we came across as teenagers was fish and chips. That was the first convenience food that you could go out at night time and have fish and chips. Then it started being Smith's crisps, and it's expanded so much there. There was no burger bars or things like that once upon a time when we were teenagers. So the night out was going to have fish and chips, wasn't it, Joe? Really?
Yes.
I think but now that has become a meal in itself, hasn't it? Really, the cost of it now. It's a major meal now, isn't it? Really, yeah. Cost of fish.
But it's all down to time as well now, because there are a lot of women who work, so it's quicker for them to use processed food. Marks and Spencer's prime example. I used to do it. I used to run in, get the meals for the week, and then that would be it sorted because I'd be working all day, and then when you come home, all you want to do is to get the meal over and done with and crack on with something else. But it's clothes as well, though, isn't it, for teenage girls? I find there's a lot of pressure on clothes, because when you were saying about you look at pictures of the models and things like that, I find when I go shopping with my daughter, I mean, sometimes I pick up the clothes and I think, how on earth does anybody get into those? Because they're about that wide, some of the skirts, you know, and they don't seem to make bigger sizes anymore. They're all very, very small, size 8, size 6. Size 10 is average now, whereas when I was younger, you know,
Yeah,
it wasn't.
but I think the average woman is a size 14 or 16, so that's actually
it's
quite odd.
Mm.
At this point, I'm actually going to point to the voice within. There's, we have some online chatters who could feedback some information, so we're going to hear some feedback from that.
Can we say hello to Reading and Reading 2 and Veggie, and they want to know if you'll ask the audience for their views on the topic? That's it.
Yeah. Give it to us. Any more views on food? Actually, let's go through the questions. What do we have? Right. Hands up. Who would prefer Ben & Jerry's to Häagen-Dazs ice cream? Hands up for Ben & Jerry's. Right. Hands up for Häagen-Dazs ice cream. Right. Right. I've just been to Barcelona for a week, and they have Häagen-Dazs ice cream shops there, and I think as people of culture, we need a couple of those here as well. Let's see, what else do we have?
I think we had it for Ben & Jerry's because that pays my pension.
Go on. So anyway, who prefers Chinese food?
To India?
Indian food?
Yes, quite like Indian food.
What else do we have?
Spanish or Mexican? Spanish? Mexican?
Ooh. What else do we have? Oh, do we have any fruitarians here? Any fruitarians? Has anyone seen Notting Hill, the film Notting Hill? Remember the scene when they're trying to set up Hugh Grant with this girl who says she's a fruitarian, and they're like, oh, what's that? You believe that that these carrots, and he's pointing at the casserole with carrots, and she said, have been murdered. So they only eat things that have been voluntarily given away by the earth, i.e. the apple that has fallen off the tree, not the apple that has been ripped off the tree. So any fruitarians? I thought so.
They must be very hungry.
Oh yeah, do you play with your food? Anyone plays with their food? Ah, yes, please tell us more about it. What do you play? Hang on, I'm coming.
I always play with my food and I always shout at for it.
Shouted at by whom?
Food.
And so what do you play? Is it, do you build castles out of potato mash, or what is it?
No, it's just mess with it before.
Is it, you stir it all into one, and it...
They thought nothing I wasted.
No, I just get bored and play with it.
So rather than eating it, you just do that? I can sympathize with that. Anyone else who plays with their food? There's interesting things with food? Food sculptures? No? Good. Right. I think we probably have to move on to the next topic. And the topic, Jenny, if you can just tell us very briefly what it is.
The next topic we're going to talk about is memories. You want to put that video on?
So we have prepared another little video for that.
I love it. Apart from all the fabulous buildings and the docks and everything. But when I got here today, I found this cafe near Cavan Walks. Thank you. And this, what I thought was a really nice postcard, commemorative. And I have a son in South Africa at the moment, and I've sent him and his family one of these cards today by airmail from the post office in that lovely India House building, which I've never seen before. Fabulous inside.
It's wonderful.
The ceilings, and it's just magnificent, isn't it? So that was my little souvenir of today.
Now this is a view of a scene in the Lake District, which we do a lot of rambling in the Lake District, and this would just bring back all the happy memories and all the wonderful, beautiful places there are to be seen in the lakes. Tall little stones that came from Beaumaris Beach, which is a place in Anglesey, where I grew up. And it just brings, I could look at those and think of all the happy times I had there. And this is my mother's thimble, which she used a lot. And so that would remind me of all the sewing and all the needlework that she did, the clothes that she made, and, you know, just lots and lots of home memories, really.
Because it's awesome. Right.
Fantastic. You said directing from the back.
I was just on the internet and seen a picture of Kylie, and I love Kylie. She makes me happy. She doesn't make me happy, but whenever I put her music on and stuff, I go in a bit of a weird mood and stuff and get all happy and that. So I just thought I'd put her on my phone and then I can see her every day and be like, oh, Kylie.
Oh, conkers, yes. Well, each person has them on a string, you see, and you say they're a once or a twice or that's if it's broken. If when you hit the other person's conker it breaks, that makes yours much superior. So yours is once.
Right.
So however many that conker has knocked out, well, it gets that higher number, you see. A hole right through your conker and put a string through it and tie a big knot at the bottom so that it stays on, you see. And a lot of people used to do various things with them to harden them up so that they'd be stronger than the other person's. I will just tell you that I was clearing out my loft the other day and I found a box and I thought, wonder what's in this. And it was a box full of conkers, which must be at least 30 years old, because they were my sons. So they should be pretty mature.
Here we are. Good. Okay. And we're back. Here we are. I think at least. Yeah, here we are. Good. Yeah, that was a small film that we prepared about memories. Actually, I'll hand over to Jenny because she has the first question.
Okay. Is there a valuable object that you've got that carries a lot of memories? Like could be the slightest little thing. It could be a ring or something that brings back memories from your childhood or anything that you carry with you.
No, I don't carry anything with me. I don't. No, I don't think there is really. You sort of collect things and you put them to one side, and as you said in the film before, you probably discover them about 30, 40 years later.
Is there anything like that that you have got at home?
Yeah, I've got my RAF badge when I was in the RAF.
Does that bring back like a lot of memories from when you were in the RAF?
I suppose it does, really, but I think when you get to our age, you do tend to remember things 30 and 40 years ago rather than what happened last week, really. We do tend to remember them kind of things. Going back to organic food, I remember as teenagers, everybody seemed to have an apple tree in the garden at one time. Everybody seemed to have apple trees. And we used to get our organic food by going over into somebody's orchard and pinching their apples, you know. That's where we get our organic food from. But, yeah, memories. Yeah. Memories, you do remember things from years ago, because obviously
from my point of view, I mean, I keep everything that my children have ever done, you know, all their books from school, all their school reports.
Like I have a memory box at home, and I put it's just like the slightest thing. It could be a ticket stump from cinema or something. Have you got anything like that? That like it's just even just a collection of things.
Yeah, I've got quite a few Beatles things because I used to go and watch the Beatles.
Oh, right.
I used to wag school and go. Shouldn't say that, really, should I?
If I had a memory box, I'm afraid it'd be as big as this room at my age. I mean, yes, all my life is full of memories. In fact, my very first memory, my wife didn't believe me, is of lying in a pram. She said, you must have been 15-year-old. I said, no, I wasn't. But I can actually remember lying in a pram. And I can remember Oh, so many things since then. Coming home from school, one of the nicest things when I was probably 5-year-old, coming home, putting my head on my mother's lap, she combing the knits out.
Oh yes, I remember that.
That was really, that
Yeah.
was a lovely sensation. That everybody used to do it, whether you had knits or
Friday
not.
night,
Whether you had knits or not.
Friday night, newspaper on the floor.
Yes, you know,
Little
so
Nora.
many things.
Little Nora at school.
I can actually remember before there were mobile phones, you know.
Oh,
yes.
That must be old.
Oh, yes.
Press button B.
But I can remember my school days, preschool days, my teenage. And generally speaking, everyone is a happy memory. I've been very fortunate.
Going back to
Everyone
what
is
you were
a
saying
happy
about remembering being in the pram when you were a baby.
I could describe the pram too.
Well, if I remember rightly though, when we were younger, I mean, I'm not quite as old as you, but
Nobody is.
Even when I was younger, children stayed in the pram a lot longer.
Oh, not that
Because
long.
I remember I was about 5 and I still used to go in the pram sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't, I can't remember the age, but I can remember the pram. It was a big pram then with great
They were
big
huge, weren't they?
springs and a big fancy hood.
Silver
And I can
Cross.
remember lying in
That's right, Silver Cross.
possibly 2 or 3-year-old maximum, I would think. Remember that.
I think memories are really interesting to look at. We all have memories of different varieties. Maybe we have little aids-like things in a memory box. Maybe we have a whole collection of bits and pieces that do remind us about certain things. But it is also very interesting to see how we share them. And in this context of sharing memories, we're actually doing another project with the Dark Horse Venture where Richie is involved, Ada and Grace are involved, where we are finding a way of preserving memories and sharing memories through an interactive virtual world, basically a computer game. So how do we share memories? If you have a fond childhood memory, do you always tell it in the same way? Is it a set story? Is there a certain amount of information that you give when you tell it the first time? If the person comes back and wants more, do you then give them more information, or are there certain things that you keep to yourself? How do you share memories? And I'm looking at you guys, so maybe you could tell us how does it work? Do you have people logging on to you and asking to download some of your memories to share them with you? How do you go about sharing your memories?
I think photographs play a big part.
Oh, they do.
I think that's what most people think of when they think of memories. Because I mean, I think everybody has boxes and boxes of photographs, don't they?
And never look at them.
Well, yes, I do actually.
Do you?
Yes, I was just telling
Yes.
2 ladies in the audience before we came on the air. I have been looking at them with my daughter. And we were saying younger people do like to look at photographs. I don't know, do you like to look at photographs?
My nan has boxes.
That's right, my daughter's
tins and
obsessed by them. You know, she's always saying to me, oh, get the photographs, Mum, let's have a look. Or she'll go to my mum's and she says, oh, go on, Grandma, tell me who this is. And that. She's really interested.
So I like to look at photos of my nan and granddad and stuff because like there's pictures of my mum, and my mum was a really cheeky kid, and there's just silly things like my nan used to read a lot of magazines and used to see she thought she could give my mum natural layers by putting a ponytail on, just putting her hair in a ponytail and cutting the ponytail off. And there's a photo of my mum, and she was little, and I've never seen her like that before. And it's like photos of my nan and granddad. Like my nan and granddad were a really attractive couple when they were younger as well. It's like, it's nice to look back because like I wasn't there to see them like that, and it's nice just to look back at things like that.
And the other thing I always think, my daughter's always amazed. Like you just said now, your grandparents were quite good looking. Well, when my daughter was looking at my mum and my dad, she couldn't believe how good looking they were, because I think younger people think we're born old.
That's right.
You know, we've missed out
They
the
do.
youthful part. And you know,
do.
we're the way we are now. We were born like that, but we weren't.
Besides collecting little trinkets and besides photographs, obviously there are many memories, things that you have to carry in your heart, and things where any trinkets or any images might be lost. How do you preserve them? Are you worried sometimes? Do you remind yourselves very consciously about a certain memory? Are you writing things down? Are you preserving your memories? Are you leaving them behind for your children, for your grandchildren, to make sure that it stays there, it stays in the family?
One of the things we've done in the part of the Dark Horse Venture and the 120 Club we're involved in now is we are writing down short memories of these things, and we're putting it into a magazine kind of thing that we can sort of pass on to other people, because we found with talking with each other, you remember things, rather than, this is the best thing about the Dark Horse venture is we get and we talk to each other and you remember things, and this is how we're learning off each other as well. And we've always wanted to do that, so we do it together. But memories, everybody's got different memories. Some are good, some are bad, where we tend to write down and preserve our good memories and hide bad memories, I should think. But maybe there is some times where maybe, Joe, we should write down bad memories sometimes, of some of the things that have happened that we would not want to happen again or remember again. But yeah, your mind's like a big computer, isn't it? Really, you know, you can delete files and empty the recycle bin now and again, but they're still there.
It's a very good point, actually, because, just quickly chopping in there. I think on our questionnaires, I asked if people could draw a picture of how you think memories are stored in the brain. Has anyone, by any chance, painted something? Has anyone done a little picture? Oh, yeah, coming. Could we see what you painted? Oh, that is really beautiful. Can I take it to a camera so we can show it? Oh, should I? Do you think you can zoom in?
So really should have been here.
Can you see what that? Yes, it's coming. You see what that is? You can recognize this. That is really quite beautiful. It's a heart through my heart. This is how memories are kept. That's really beautiful. That's very nice. Thank you very much. Has anyone else painted anything? How memories are stored? Anyone else done this? I had a debate at one point with a psychologist and someone who works in neurology, and there was this big argument how memories are kept together through the chemicals or through the context, and that you remember things because your brain just makes these connections of all these different elements, and how your senses obviously play a role in this, that there's you might remember a situation and you actually can smell the smell that you smelled at this point. You might be able to smell a certain perfume or a certain atmosphere that was there, even so it's physically not existent, but your brain reproduces what has happened, and you can remember everything, including the smell and the senses and the feeling. Oh, and I hear that the voice within has news for us, so we probably quickly hand over and see if we get any questions. Voice within, over to you.
We're just wondering if they've got a few questions. Do we trust our memories, and do you think it's a good thing to remember remember things?
Wow, what do we think?
Oh, definitely a good thing. In fact, now at my age, I wish that I had listened more and taken more notice of my family members, for instance, my forebears. I know very little about my grandparents and their side of the family and those mother or father's side. I wish now that I'd taken more notice, but now it's because it's too late. So any memories, particularly of your own families, can be very, very important.
I'd recommend to all the teenagers and that they do make a memory book or something, collect all the photos.
That's
collect
perfect
all the
cue.
memories.
Yeah, that's exactly something that has been pointed out coming through online as well. We've been asked, and we should ask Studio and the panel, how many people here are keeping a diary, even if you don't write it every day, but how many people are actually keeping a diary, writing down important events, whether it happens daily or every now and then? Who's doing anything like that?
I do.
Oh, wow. I tend to do them mainly when I'm traveling, so I keep those memories. But what about you guys back there? Let me quickly come in with you. How about you? Come with a microphone.
I do.
How often do you write?
My son asked that.
Rather than write about what I've actually done.
Like a scratchbook where pictures, posters.
Scrapbook, like with different, like something you can look back and remember things over, like.
Fantastic, yeah, that's something I do as well.
My son
When I
asked
went to
that
Barcelona for a
when
week
I'm
now, I
dead
took my
and
little
gone,
brother with me and I
that
gave
I'll
him
leave
a
him all
book
my diaries.
as a present to do this, and super glue and a pen, so he could, they had no excuses to stick everything in. Who else did say they write? Sorry, who else did say in the audience they're writing? Mary, you're writing as well, aren't you? How often do you write diary entries?
I write it every day. I'm given a particular diary, it's a beautiful one, the Royal Horticultural Society, by my sister, and she gives it to me every year. So I feel guilty if I don't fill it in. Apart from the fact that when I was a teacher, I had an academic diary. I mean, going back many years, and I've always kept, I knew all the children in my class, came back into the 60s and the 50s, so it's interesting. But actually, when I moved house fairly recently, I thought this is ridiculous. So I kept, I think, the last 10 years, and I threw the others away. But it is great fun to look back. But half the time when you look back, you think, what the hell? Who the hell are they? You know, I can't remember who they are because my memory's so bad. But it is good fun, definitely good fun. It should be done by, especially young people. I'm very glad that you're doing it with your memory box. I think that's a super idea.
That sounds really good, definitely. An uncle of mine is doing something quite crazy as well. He's very interested in history, and he keeps one diary where he very meticulously writes out what he's doing, and he says he can go back, just like you said, Mary's, where he can go back at any day of his life, and he can tell you exactly what he's done, what he's eaten, and where he's been, which is a bit scary. The other part is that he's really interested in Roman history. And because he studied Roman history for a long period of time, he is keeping a diary in which he pretends to live in Roman times, and he's created a persona for himself, and he is keeping a diary of what he would do if he would be this Roman. I think it's a philosopher or Senate member or something, and what he would be doing. So he keeps this diary of this persona. Yeah. Before we reveal any further of my family history that is quite crazy, I think we should move on to the next subject. So I'll quickly hand over to Jenny while I'm trying to bring out something that we need to look at that 24 hours in a day.
Okay, so next video is about 24 hours a day. And no video. Oh, no video. Okay, sorry. Panel. Oh, wait, sorry.
Jenny, do you want to move across to the side?
Yeah.
No. Can you see one? Okay, Jenny, would you like to tell them what we've done there and how we've done it?
Okay, we've got a group of we've given out a few cameras and stuff and asked to take pictures of our daily routine, and we put them together with times, and we'll put them together to sort of compare different ages, and like us in school we've got what we do in the morning, what time we get up and stuff. And
should we actually move closer and explain them? Let's do that actually.
Sorry.
Cover around here, sorry, going through the picture. There we are.
We've got 7 o'clock. How we get up a lot earlier than I don't know if we get up earlier than everyone else because we've got school, and then we have more or less the same routine. People go to school, get up, get
People
washed.
were quite explicit about this as well, because we gave people the possibility to tell us what they do. They had complete control over, okay, out by this time, alarm bell rings then, have breakfast here, have shower there, have brushed my teeth, have to get dressed by this time, have to be out, which is why we have so many pictures in this area as well. So complete control over this morning ritual, morning routine. And actually quite similar, because the top half of the pictures have been taken by Ada, and the bottom half have been taken by St. Julie's, and there's really quite some similarity in the starting of the morning.
Okay, and then we move on to like 8 o'clock. Most of us leaving the house. It's like, especially when you're going to school, it is a routine. It's just the same thing, and then we got.
I think Ada's then taking off. She gets picked up, and she's spending lots of time with her granddaughter and looking after her, which is why she showed us these pictures. And this is happening in the morning hours, whereas the girls from St. Julie's have a complete different routine. Maybe Jenny, you could tell us what is happening for you after 9 o'clock, after arriving at school.
Basically, when 10 to 9, we've got to be in. It's the same thing. We're all in for form period. 10 minutes, 15 minutes of form. Then we go on 5 past, and we all go to lessons. If not, it's really just between the computer room or the common room, or we might go out to the shop. But there's not much difference. We're all doing nearly the same thing. Then we go on to 11, and it's just after we've had a couple of lessons, it's break time. We'll come back into the common room or go out for a snack or something, and then we've got lessons. And 12:30 we'll have dinner time.
I think Ada as well noted 12 p.m. as one of the marker, where we have quite a clear, almost 5 or 10 minute division in the morning. Things are then in a couple of hour blocks, so between 9 and 12 this is happening, but 12 o'clock seemed to be the other point where people said, oh, actually lunchtime, this is what's happening. And Ada is out there is returning from shops. This is what she's getting up to, and around 1 o'clock she starts her afternoon. And even so, there's such a large part of time. I think we're talking 4 hours that we're covering here. It became not as detailed, but she's doing lots of household chores there. So it's washing dishes and hoovering that is happening there. Whereas for St. Julie's, there are lessons again, are there?
Yeah, they go on till 3:30. Some of us go home early, but while you're in school, it's nearly the same sort of thing. It's you're in your lessons or you're not. Or if you're going to have a lesson, you're going to be there all day. You're in the common room, at a shop, or in the computer room.
Right. I think something that because the pictures that we've taken should represent some of the experiences we've done, and one of the big pictures that we had down here, I don't know if you can see it next to 4 o'clock, is actually the bus ticket, and it was this like, yes, going home, a picture of the bus, just that's it, end of school is signaled by this, act of the routine is signaled by this bus ticket. And then it's into the evening activities for St. Julie's. So what do we have there?
We've got telephones, that's just, we'll speak to our friends.
That we've seen all day in school.
Yeah, we find something to talk about. We've got music. A lot of people come home, just put a CD on or watch the telly, or then we've got the piano, and that's just like sort of different activities that some of us do. Some of us have out of school activities, or we work as well. Like I work. I used to do drama outside school, but don't do it anymore. That's the sort of thing that people do. And then we've got the books at the bottom. We all have to make time for work and homework and revision and stuff like that serious stuff now. And then we've got the showers.
And bedtime.
Yeah.
When is bedtime on a school night?
I don't know. I go to bed, I don't go to bed till late. I go to bed about 11, 12 o'clock. But sometimes I work in a restaurant, so I'm there till 12. But a lot of people, like my friend, she goes to bed early. Like if she'll be grumpy if she's not in bed by like 10 o'clock, 1 minute past 10, and she's not happy. But a lot of people, I think the time is between 10 and 12 when most people go to bed, because they've got, like you said, we've got work to do and stuff like that. So it's, if you've got out of school activities, you've got to make time for both.
Ada has quite a hectic evening as well, because after an afternoon of household chores, she has quite a hectic program of going out and singing. So she's going to be away all evening, and she said that she's hardly ever going to bed before 12 o'clock. So these are two examples, St. Julie's and Ada. And maybe we can open up what is happening in each other's 24 hours and involve our panel and involve you, our dear audience, because I hope you wrote and scribbled bits and pieces of information about your 24-hour routines on those Post-it notes. Do we have any Post-it notes? Oh, come on. Do we have any Post-it notes? I can see them lying around. Right. What do you do what do you do on a Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock? What is normally happening?
Oh.
Do we have that? It's
Saturday, 2 o'clock, 2 a.m.
Hang on, let me come to the microphone. Sorry.
Monday, 9 a.m., go to Mass. Saturday, 2 a.m., go to sleep. Sunday, 5 p.m., go to church and watch the television, because it's my favourite programme. Tuesday, 11 p.m., I go into the Dark Horse Venture. Wednesday, 4 p.m.
It's 11 p.m.
Oh, well, sorry. Never mind, doesn't matter. Wednesday, 4 p.m., watch the television, a specific programme. Thursday, 8 p.m., I'm reading. Friday, 11 a.m., shopping. Easter Sunday, I had pleurisy. Wednesday, beginning of October, dreading the winter. Mid-January, on a weekend evening, hoping for spring. And late August afternoon, sitting in the garden.
That sounds really good. Someone else would like to share theirs. What else have happened? Oh, here we go. Roy is coming.
Up at 6:30. most days and weekends about 8:30, and then lunch is sometimes 12 o'clock, sometimes 3 o'clock, and depends really what we're doing, and then sort of like the normal day is work, obviously, and that can vary between sort of between 8 hours to 12 hours, depending on or longer, if you're on call. So it just varies really. My highlights of the week really are ER on TV. That's what I look forward to, and that's it, because that's about the only thing I can, But Monday at 9 o'clock really, I fill in the weekly report, so that's fairly standard. But Saturday is mainly what time I get is working at home, whatever needs doing at home. And then Sunday at 5 p.m. is usually eating or walking the dogs, one of the two. And then sort of Easter Sunday is usually sailing. And the beginning of October is preparing the boat for laying it up. And then mid-January is, in the evenings, is walking the dogs again, and then late August afternoon is sailing. So.
Right, fantastic. That sounds absolutely excellent. Could we have a couple of more? Anyone else interested? What about you guys? Did you fill any of those in? Did you? Yeah, I'm coming. And we're sparing no one. Here we are.
Oh no, is it no? Oh, there it is. On a Monday, 9 a.m. I'm usually sleeping. Then probably on a Saturday at 2 a.m. I'm still probably at a mate's either drinking or something, because I don't go to bed till about 4, 5, 6 in the morning anyway. That's because I sleep until about 3. Sunday 5 p.m. I'm probably on my PC. Then Tuesday at 11 p.m. I'm probably at my mate's. At Wednesday 4 p.m. I'm probably still with my mates or something like that. Thursday at 8 p.m. I'm still at my mates. Friday 11 a.m. I'm sleeping. Same on early Easter morning. Beginning of October I was moving around, like mid-January weekend I was drinking. Then late August probably starting college or something like that.
That sounds really good, very good. Anyone else would like to share? What about our panel? Do you have some ideas to some of these days? Jenny, could you fill us in? Even if you haven't filled them in handwritten, but do you think you can improvise and tell us a bit about your whereabouts in relation to those dates down here? On a Monday morning at 9 a.m., where would you be?
Monday morning at 9 o'clock. I mean, just getting into school, or probably still on the bus because I'm always late. But it's the same thing every day. I'm in school nearly every day. I'm in every morning, so it's the same thing every morning. Tuesday, I'm in till, actually no, tell a lie, I'm not. I'm in every day. I'm in till 3:30 except for a Wednesday now. It's just the same thing, lessons, and then after school, I go to my nan's because they're on the way home, and then I go home, probably sit, make myself a cup of tea, take the dog for a walk, probably will ring about people and I always have something to talk about, so I'm on the phone for about 3 hours to each person, and then it's just, I work on Monday night, or I work during the week. I don't know. I work one day of the week, but I'm usually, then I'll do some work later on and go to bed. It's the same thing nearly every night except for the weekend.
On a Saturday at 2 a.m, would you be dancing out somewhere?
I'm working at 2 o'clock.
At 2 o'clock? Where are you working?
I work in a restaurant.
Oh.
I work in a restaurant.
And do they go on till 2 o'clock?
2 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock at night?
In the morning.
2 o'clock in the morning, no, I'm usually out dancing.
I was like, whoa. I was like, I'm relieved to hear that.
No, I thought you meant in the afternoon. Sorry, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm usually out dancing somewhere.
In the workshop that we've done, in the talks that we had with Grace and Ada, I think there were a couple of really interesting points to see how certain elements of the day and certain parts of routines have been very similar, but how then certain elements were completely different and people had absolutely different priorities, obviously. A large part was determined by what people would do during the day, if they would be in education or if they would be retired or if they would be going after a job. This clearly determined what was happening, what was going on. There are a couple of questions on here that I would be curious. What do people consider the biggest time waster that they have in their day? How do you personally waste time, or what is wasting your time? Any thoughts on this? Coming.
Just watching television, I think. I think most of it is a waste of time.
Do you have some favorite programs that you make time for, that you know you're sitting in front of the television for because you want to see them, or is it the zapping around in between those that is actually wasting?
I watch soaps and I think to myself it's a waste of time, but I enjoy it all the same, so I just do it.
Oh yeah, but as long as you're enjoying it, I think we get away with that. That's okay. Anyone else who feels there are time wasters out there?
Sleeping is the worst waste of time.
Yeah, I got
that. I just wish I could do
sleeping and watching TV.
Who was it? Was it Caesar who had reduced his sleep? No, who was it? Cicero? No, very famous philosopher who reduced his sleeping needs to 4 hours at a piece. He would never sleep longer than, and it would just probably one deep sleep phase. Has anyone else actually cut off their sleep to make sure they get through all the things that they have to do?
Me?
Well, you're sleeping quite a lot. We're on to you.
Yeah, I don't like sleeping a lot. I do, but I don't. Because I always end up sleeping for about 10 hours, but I only want to sleep for about 3 or 4 because I just want to get up and go do something. Instead of just doing nothing. I don't like just sitting there having nothing to do. I've got to be actually doing something or be just talking to someone or something like that.
That's a really good point, because I remember having been to school, on a weekend you would lie in, and lying in actually made you, and getting up then really late and having my mom hoovering in front of my door to make me get up, thanks mom, that caused me to be so tired for the rest of the day, whereas if I would get up really early I would be very awake, even so longer sleeping made me tired. Interesting point. I'm so sorry, I have to cut to our last point, otherwise we don't get through. We're already going over a little bit, but we'll be fine. The next part that we would like to show you is another video. What is the point, Jenny?
It's music.
Music. Right, we prepared a little video for you. We're going to show you in a second. So yeah, move over to music, and here we come. Before I finish the question, why Kylie?
I don't know. I've always liked to watch Baby because she's got really catchy music and stuff. But I like her as well.
People generally don't believe me when I said I actually saw Frank Sinatra at the Palace Theatre in Manchester in about 1953 or 4 when he was making a comeback. What's your favourite pop star band?
I've been to see Westlife in concert.
In Liverpool?
No, in Manchester.
Here we are. Almost back. Here we are. Good. Right. Yeah. That was a snippet of stuff that we shared, and this with music and food were actually the strongest points that we had, where people had the strongest reactions to the music that is very personal to them. People drew up their own personal musical history. What were the first kind of tracks, albums that they had, that they recognized, and how this influenced, or how they learned about new music, how they moved on with this. Maybe we can have a look at some of the questions, or we can have a look at, see what you think. What were the first pieces of music that you guys had? We heard a lot of Beatles, I think, from Barbara. Beatles.
Yes, Beatles. I just about remember rock and roll. Just about. But actually, I never really liked the Beatles very much. Yeah. But everybody else did at the time, so I just went along with peer pressure. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Is there any music? I'm curious now, because I know I have there's a lot of CDs and stuff that I have at home. Is there any music that, I don't know if you do it now, when you're younger, you put it on and you just dance like an idiot in front of the mirror, or just get your hairbrush or something? I don't know if, like, I know me and my friends, we used to do it with each other, which was quite sad. But is there any songs or anything like that make you just go a bit silly and stuff?
Yeah, when my daughter's home, sometimes we do that, you know. Ashamed to admit it, but we do.
What songs? What song in particular?
Well, she likes all the pop stuff, all of it, and I do too.
Yeah.
I like Robbie Williams.
I love her.
Kylie. Right. Atomic Kitten. I like Atomic Kitten. They're good, aren't they?
They are very
good. Well, she's always collecting CDs, so we've always got them on. But my husband likes classical music.
No.
So you're dancing to her music. Is she engaging in yours as well? Things that you loved when you were her
she doesn't
age?
like classical music. But having said that, she can play. She played piano. She played flute up to grade 7. So she is aware of. Well, she knows about all types of different classical music, but obviously, you know, she doesn't admit to that. But I think sometimes she slips one of her father's CDs on if she's revising. She seems to be able to revise better to something that's a bit, you know, low key rather than Kylie Minogue.
I remember revising for my, what is the equivalent of A-levels in Germany, and I was listening to Vivaldi's Four Seasons, and I loved Winter. It was just made me learn. But did you listen to classical music when you were the age of your daughter, 22?
No.
Aha, so what were you listening to then?
No. When I was 22. Oh, hang on, I have to remember. Well, that was after the Beatles.
Let's all try and remember, what did we listen to when we were 22 years of age? Let's try and go back, and we come round in a second and come with the microphone. 22. Or your current age, if you're not yet 22.
Well, it was after the Beatles, wasn't it? Because the Beatles was 66, wasn't it? Something like that, 67.
Yeah.
So it was way after that. I can't remember.
Do we all remember? Good. Does anyone know? Ready to share? Oh, here we go. Yeah. Glenn Miller Orchestra. Fantastic. What else did we have? What else? Oh, Deep Purple. I probably just point. What else? Oh, Earth, Wind & Fire. Very good. What else do we have?
Blue.
Oh, excellent. Blue. And when you were 22?
I would say Judas Priest, Saxon, Whitesnake.
Ah, right. Rock. 22. What did you listen to?
Big Audio Dynamite.
Big Audio Dynamite. Haven't heard of them. Good. What kind of genre?
Paul Jones from The Clash.
Oh, right. Excellent. Sounds very good. What are you guys listening to? You're not 22 yet, right? No, not yet. So what are you listening to at the moment?
Linkin Park.
Ah, Linkin Park. Very good. And what else?
Just like rock and roll stuff. Dido and Anastasia and all that.
Oh, excellent. Sounds very nice. Who else would like to share what they listened to when they were 22? Roy, what did... Oh, we had Rolling Stones, and we had Deep Purple here. Anyone else when you were 22? Bob Dylan. Punk rock. Yeah, definitely. I think you all should come to Heebie-Jeebies on a Friday night and dance in a way, because there's some of that, actually. He represented. Where do you... Oh, sorry.
Anybody remember the Ink Spots?
Yeah.
And the Mills Brothers. I mean, that was real music then.
Oh, that was really music then.
It
right,
was.
that brings us
They
right
could
onto
sing.
the
I
point.
mean, people like Bing Crosby, they may laugh at them, but they could sing. They didn't shout as they do today, not in my opinion.
Yes,
they
but
could
you have to
sing. They
remember.
had beautiful voices.
Well, what do you think of Robbie Williams now? Because, I mean, that's exactly what my mum would say about the present-day pop stars now. But Robbie Williams has actually proved, because he's done a whole Sinatra type thing, hasn't he?
Oh, some of them.
He can
There are
sing
some.
really well. A lot of them can actually sing.
Oh yes, a lot of them can.
Do you ever
But the majority, I would say only about 5% can sing of the modern pop people. That's my opinion.
No, I
that is.
disagree with that.
Is there anyone? Do you know
They
when you
shout. They have to shout, and they repeat. I say, "What's the name of that song?" And they repeat the same thing over and over and over. The same.
Can I just ask you
same
something?
verse.
In your opinion, did you think Gracie Fields had a good voice?
Yes.
Who's Gracie Fields?
Who's Gracie Fields?
Screech?
I was going to say who's
She had a dreadful voice.
who's the Spice Girls?
Oh, that's actually brings me on. We had a couple of questions in there. Has anyone a favourite Spice
Vera
Girls?
Lynn.
Who's your favourite Spice Girl?
Yeah.
Emma.
Silence,
Emma is
Tumbleweed.
about-
Emma, I
Just
think.
like Emma, Baby
Emma's
Spice.
the nicest.
Yeah, I think so.
Our panel has an opinion of that. Very, very good. Emma, Baby Spice.
I liked Mel B, but now, and so did my friend Sean, who's trying to tell me to tell you. But now the Spice Girls split up. I love Victoria Beckham.
Really?
But for her music or for who she is?
Her clothes.
I think it's a clothes and who
It's
she
clothes.
is. The couple.
She can't really sing, can she?
I think there's a
know.
lot of
No,
other
can.
there's so much more, and we're probably running over here ever so slightly. But we'll just do it now because it's really interesting discussion. These days, she said, sounding really old. We know so much more about the music and the pop stars that we know, and I think one of the questions that I put onto the questionnaire was, what is the most intimate detail you know about one of your favorite musicians or pop stars? So what is the most intimate thing you know about Ken Dodd?
He's a good singer.
That is actually a very good one. Not bad, yeah.
He didn't pay his tax. That's the only thing I know about him.
Yeah.
Right.
The singing taxman.
Mm.
He's good with a tickling stick.
How do you know?
At the bottom of the questionnaire, we had, I think there were a couple of musicians listed, and the question was, how many of these do you know songs that they performed or played or that have been covered? Who did anyone manage to fill all of them in, or how many could you fill in? I think there were 20 something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 18. How many did you fill in of the 18? Two.
I didn't know the Queen song.
Let's go through it. Let's have a look. Anyone can name a song by Duke Ellington? Just shout it out loud.
No. No, he's good though.
He's
very
good.
good.
Okay.
Very
Right,
good, but I
yes.
don't know if it's a song by him. Cliff Richard, Summer Holiday, everybody remembers
Celebration.
that. Ella Fitzgerald's very good.
Yes.
She's hasn't she worked with on Porgy and Bess with what's his name? Has she worked with Louis Armstrong on Porgy and Bess? Yes, she has.
Yeah.
Who knows Nora Jones? Hands up.
I've never heard
Never
of
heard
her.
of the
Nora
name.
Jones.
Just new.
She is probably one of the. Well, there's this group of new young voices that are very jazzy, so they would be.
She's got a very old voice, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Different.
An old voice for a new.
Same
Yeah.
category as what is it? Katie Melua and Michael Bublé and Jamie Cullum, so they're all in the same category. Right, who knows a Queen song?
Barcelona.
Oh,
Hey.
yes.
Ooh, nice one.
He's
Well,
good, isn't he?
Indeed. Right, Take That. Anyone remember them?
Oh, yes.
Oh, they were my favourite
Yes.
bands.
Very
And
good.
they could be reforming, couldn't they?
Anyone knows who Joss Stone is?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And do you remember, or do you know the song that she's covering, and who's it by?
Just don't never heard of him.
She's new as well. She's very good.
Who's the girl?
Does anyone know who
I thought it
it's
was a
by?
man.
Fell in love with a boy? Oh, I'm coming across.
She's quite young, but she's got a very
Excellent
mature
cover
voice.
actually
She's
as well.
very- she's
It was by
good.
the White Stripes and it's called Fell in Love with a Girl.
It's really, really good. The voice within tells us that there are lots of questions coming in actually from online. So let's quickly hop across and let's hear what she has to say.
If you would like to know, is there anyone in the audience with embarrassing singles that you thought like your artist you feel most ashamed about?
Right. Anyone? I'm here with the microphone and the camera. It's your time to come out now. Any embarrassing singles and pieces? Oh, right, I'm coming. Here we are, on my way. There's lots of pointing going on. I think all three have something to hide. Here we go.
Barbie girl.
Oh my God.
What was the question?
No, it's just like.
If you bought a
why?
record and you were ashamed to say you bought it.
Okay, and yours? No embarrassing singles? We could just go home and find out? All right, that's nothing to embarrassed about. Anyone else?
No, I've not got any. I just got albums.
Oh, okay. Any embarrassing albums? What is the first album you ever bought? What is the very first record you bought? Probably as a record or a CD or tape. What was the very first? Do you remember which one that is? Anyone?
Didn't used to
here we
buy
go.
albums in those days.
The Spice Girls album.
Spice Girls album. And what do we have here?
Andre album.
Was it way back when he still had the six-pack, or are we talking now after he came out of the jungle?
Way back.
Let's just go and move on from there.
Green Day, Duka.
Ah, Green Day. I think there was someone else with Green Day, wasn't there? Mark has Green Day. In his CD player in this very second, which is the next question, if we would go home into your living room, what would be in your CD player, on your record player, in your cassette recorder? What would be in there in this very second if you press the play button? Go on.
Nat King Cole.
Kira? Sorry, say again? Opeth. There.
The Norwegian death metal, progressive metal bands.
Sounds good. Sounds very interesting. What would be in your CD player, records, album player in this very second?
Isley Brothers.
What are they?
Show my age now. They're coming back in again.
Isley Brothers.
Actually, kind of soul
music.
group from sort of the 80s, so 70s, 80s.
Sounds good. Anyone else? What is in your record player?
I don't listen to music I listen to Radio 4, but my husband will have Evensong from the Anglican Cathedral because he's singing in it. And they made a recording and he's listening to it all the time. He thinks it's marvellous.
Oh, that is very nice. Yeah. Does anyone else have a recording of any piece of music of yourself?
No.
I do. Cool, there we are. Tell us, share with us. What was it?
My mum recorded me on the Sly on Christmas at the karaoke machine singing Spice Girls. We made a school CD of the choir and I had to sing the solo bit on it, and everyone plays it all the time, but I just can't stand it. Perfect Moment by Martin Butcher.
Oh, fantastic. Which is one of the questions on the questionnaire as well. If you had to sing, if someone forced you at gunpoint to take part in a karaoke evening, which song would you sing?
I'm tired and I want to go to bed.
Anyone else? Ooh, here we go. Oh, Mustang.
I had a little drink about an hour ago and it's gone right
Ring
to
of
my
Fire, Johnny
head.
Cash. Very good. Anyone else wants to share?
I have a thing for Wham.
Yes, I
From
like
Tropicana or Wake Me Up Before You Go.
Excellent.
Either them two. I was them two.
Right. Oh, Mark has one as well.
I usually sing My Way by the Sex Pistols.
Fantastic. Right. Well, Jenny, any more questions? Anything else we should bombard them with? I think we'll have about 2 minutes before we have to wrap up because we're going 15 minutes over and Hayab is going to kick us in a second.
It's sort of go back to the memories. I know I haven't. There's the Coldplay album for me is like the songs on it that make me sad, but then I listen to it when I'm happy. But is there an album that make you cry or bring back memories or something
that you associate with the record?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody has records like that, don't they?
Is there a particular record that you brings back memories for you?
Danny Boy always affects me.
Yeah, but is that associated with something that happened at that time, or
No,
it's just a record that makes you sad?
It doesn't have to be something like the words. It's like some of the words on the songs that I remember that they have nothing to do with what I'm feeling, but they bring back a lot of memories to me
at that time. I remember when Tell Laura I Love Her, because I was going out with a boy at the time and he died, and that record always reminds me of him because it was a similar sort of thing because it's a motorbike accident and I remember that.
Does it make you sad today, or does it bring back happy happy
no,
thoughts?
sad.
Yeah.
Sad, yeah. I think there's lots of records, isn't there? When you're a teenager, I think you associate different things that happen to you with the timing of the record.
Is that? But do you think that music is important for that sort of thing? Do you think it's? Do you think that?
I think it's good for triggering memories. Yes, because you do it by association.
Yeah.
And your brain normally does work like that.
Yeah.
Good. I think in this case we have to wrap up. Do you want to do that?
Okay. So just want to thank everyone, the panel, people working on the cameras and the voice within, and thank the audience as well for taking part.
There's another webcast in 2 minutes.
There's another webcast in 2 minutes.
It's called Why Care About High Up. You want to tell them very quickly what it's about? I do, and this guy actually by the way, tell them. Yeah, we have another webcast. We are 50 minutes late, so you have about 2 minutes to very quickly hop to the bathroom if you need to. But in other case, if you don't need to, just stay where you are, don't move. We're gonna swap around microphones, crews, and the high up Jen and Mark, who've been working on the equipment, are gonna join us now for their webcast, and Drew, who's been sitting in the back. So 2 minutes to give us to break over, and thank you very much for watching. And see you in 2 minutes. Woo!